Well, hey guys, we're back. And today we're going to be talking about understanding the frame. Now, this is a little bit of a review from first semester. A couple of reminders. You're going to see me gazing off at some notes. And also, I am going to be talking a little bit faster to get through this material. You can always stop the video, make your notes, and rewind, okay? So with that said, let's roll here. I want to, give me just a second. Let's come over here and we're going to talk about understanding the frame. All right. So look, in ways of review, okay? Everything happens inside the frame. You're watching a video right now. I am inside the frame, okay? There are things that exist out here that you don't know exist, all right? And I really want to talk about the power of the frame. We talked a lot about this last semester, but here we go, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of review from last semester. I want to explain the process of video communication and how it differs from the real world, okay? We can do things. Sometimes you see things in shots, you go, man, how did they get a camera up there? Well, they probably didn't get a camera up there, okay? It was probably in a studio. What you see on the screen many times is not reality. And, okay, part of video literacy, okay, is learning how to recognize how video alters the truth. Okay, you should be able to start to see in movies and television, everything, say, hey, wait a second, they're really not there, okay? So we're going to start with talking about the laws of video space, right? So you've heard me say this over and over. What's outside the frame doesn't exist unless you refer to it, okay? You see me up in your corner. I'm in a frame right now, okay? If I cut back here, I'm in this frame, okay? But you don't know anything exists unless maybe you hear a voice over here, okay? So that's really important, that everything happens in this frame, and we're going to take a look at that. The frame determines the height and width of everything, okay? What is outside the frame, okay, you just have to pay attention in the frame. When you're shooting a video, it's really important that you are just focused on what is going on in that viewfinder, okay? Okay, depth is only illusion. I have a television set behind me. You guys watch TV. You guys see a car driving off into the sunset, and there's an illusion of depth. Depth is only illusion. We're going to talk about this. This television set right here is only about that deep, but it looks, you know, you can see pictures, okay, to make it depth. So when you stage depth, you have to, you know, think about it, okay? Or you have to, when you want to communicate depth, you have to stage it and think about it, okay? All right? Size, position, distance, okay, are not fixed. So I have in front of me a water bottle, okay? Let me just bring it in. Let me just, give me a second here. I'm bringing it into the screen, okay? So you guys recognize this, a 2-liter water bottle, right? No, it only holds 2 cups, okay? But you wouldn't know that unless you saw my hand and saw how big my hand was, all right? So what happens in the frame, the way you put things, where you stage things, okay, is really important. And then next week, we're really going to talk about this, is direction is determined by the frame. Okay, so continuing here, first thing I want to say is that let's just get some terminology. Frame. Okay, the frame is what happens right here. Okay, inside the frame, a viewfinder. This is obviously a standard def viewfinder here. But if you're talking about videos in your editing software, you have many frames. So you have many different frames. But when you're talking about shooting, one frame. What happens inside the frame. All right. So let's talk about the power of the frame. Okay. And good idea if you're taking notes to this, that, you know, what I put up here in a PowerPoint is probably what you want to write down, okay? So the frame around the image, this determines what happens. This determines what is in your image, okay? You frame in everything you want to exist. You frame off everything that you don't want to exist. Okay, so here's an illustration that they give me in the book here. All right, we have this picture of a rhino, right? And the rhino is sitting here, you know, just out in the grass. Let's not get too close to the rhino. Certainly wouldn't want him around your vehicle or anything, right? But here is the truth. This is the whole shot. Okay, so what is in your viewfinder is what you want to exist. Now I'm going to cut over here to another picture real quick. Okay, this is a live shot of a guitar. Okay, and the guitar is sitting here. Looks like we've got some shelves behind it. We have a horse. We have some things on the shelf over to the right. Christmas tree, obviously. This could be a Christmas ad or something, right? So the reason that I want you to see this, and when I do stuff in the studio, I use guitars because why use people when you can use guitars, right? So this could be an ad, you know, but maybe I'm doing a video shoot and I have two people sitting at a table. But I want to show you something is that, oh, look, well, that's just a backdrop. Okay, it's actually a photo backdrop that we use for Christmas photos. Okay, and I'm over here in my studio. Okay, there's a control room back there. But if I sit back here and I start with I'm going to try to get this back where it was or close. Okay, something like that. You can see the little leg of that tripod in there, but unless I pointed it out, you probably wouldn't notice that. Okay. So when you're staging things, it's just really important to to think about your background. Really, just be focused on the frame. Okay. So there's just kind of a little live shot. Now, the other thing is we can suggest that things exist outside of the borders of the frame. Okay? For instance, I've got this mountain climber right here. This mountain climber, he's thousands of feet off the ground, right? We are suggesting that he is very, very high up in the air. But if I do the pull-out shot, I know if you look at that, there's a little bit of color correction issues in this shot, but this was what was in the book, so I went with it. But he's really only a few feet from the ground. Now, how could you use something like this? You use this by setting up an establishing shot, even using stock footage, okay? You've got this shot of the Rock of Gibraltar on the left, then you got your rock climber on the right. You can cut from one to the other very easily and making it look like he's up there. Now, I threw this together just real quick in this silly little video. The movement is not perfect, I'm going to tell you, but just take a look at this just for a second, okay? Okay, I might want to have photoshopped a very, very small picture of a person up on that rock. So it was there, so it would make you look. You also notice I'd probably find a rock that was closer in the same color, but I think you get the idea, okay? The important things I want your takeaway, that's not the right camera, okay? The important takeaway here is that you're really, really just paying attention to what is in the frame, okay? We really want to understand the power of the frame. So, okay, so take a look at that. As you're shooting, as you start doing things, even taking pictures with your phone, really pay attention to what is in there. Look at the stuff in the background. Look at everything, okay? So, hey, that's for this week. We're going to continue talking about the frame and understanding the frame next week with part 2. But until then, guys, hope you have a great week, and we out.